Yo, what's up, Caesar, Kevin, Frontier, Brev, Christian, AMT? My bad. Couple minutes late here. I was busy taking the dog out. Um, think about Kevin liking. Um, Frontier, I think either one of them are valid. So I I kind of agree with Kevin. If there's two touches on a level, I'm perfectly okay with taking that as long as we are obviously heading towards that level. Because once we're heading towards that level, that'll be the third test anyways. So what's up, Vincenzo, Umir, Eric, Noor? It's not Noor, but Mertz, what's good? All right. So we are going to go ahead and do the typical Wednesday night charting session that we always do. I'm going to be going through from A to Z on my watch list, showing you guys what I like, what I don't like. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll answer as many as I can. But yeah, if you guys see me randomly looking back in the background, I'm just making sure that my puppy is not peeing on the ground. So yeah, we're on father duty tonight. What's up, Alan, Hector? Okay, so starting out, we're gonna start with Apple here. There's not a whole lot that I love on here. You could argue that 221.71 you could play, which I agree, but Apple's not really my stock, so I am not a huge fan. All right. Moving on. As someone new to trading and currently at a loss of 1.5K in options, what do you recommend me to do? Also, what subscription would you suggest me to buy? What subscription are you referring to, Rafat? Airbnb, I'm not seeing a whole lot of anything. AMD, I do like 166.82 on AMD. We do have to keep in mind that market is closed tomorrow, so a lot of these levels might be completely irrelevant by the time market is opened again. But I do like 166.82. We broke out of this 4-hour downtrend channel, and we look like we're trying to hold above because we got this retest, and clearly we're sitting here at about 164. So I do like that. Stock hours Discord subscription. So I can't really recommend you a subscription to buy. I would say that obviously the VIP subscription is the best value if you want the algo and you want the live trades, but that is completely up to you. You can get by without the algo for sure. We always let you guys know where the trends are and everything, but if you want to see it for yourself, then obviously the algo might be helpful for you, which in that case, if you're going to get the live trading and the algo, the VIP would be the best subscription for you. Amazon, nothing on Amazon. Go ahead and unmark that. Go ahead and mark AMD. ARM does not look bad here at 170.88 at this resistance. We're gonna have to break out of this 1-hour wedge first, which should give us the momentum we need into that level. Does not look bad at all. So I'll go ahead and mark ARM. Are you a swinger or a scalper? Scalper. What is the algo? The algo is what I have on my charts here. It draws the trend lines for you, draws support and resistance for you, and it repaints your candle colors based on the short-term trends of the stock. Keith, I saw today that you guys didn't get in the Tesla position immediately after the pre-market level break. What does the stock have to do for you to enter into the position? So there's a few things we need to see. We need to see good market sentiment. We need to see good momentum, and we need to see good volume on the contracts and the stock. Lifetime, Nor said. Interesting. Like Apple. Boy. Draco. Chill. Are you charting on TOS? Yes. AVGO, I see nothing. BA. Nothing. For me, at least. Baba does not look bad at 75.94, but that's not a stock I'm a huge fan of trading. So if you guys are a fan of that, that does not look bad whatsoever. So I'd go ahead and write that down if I were you. Me personally, it's not going to be on my watch list, but it does not look bad at all. I do nothing really. What kind of dog do you have? He's a baby pit bull. Signed up to Moomoo. How do I get the coupon to sign up? We have a link in the Discord that you can use to sign up for Moomoo. If you're not in the Discord already, obviously Wednesdays are free days, so make sure you join up on the first link below. Coin does not look bad here at 221.51. I kind of like this actually. We have, so whoever asked about 2 tests or 3 tests earlier, this is a situation where we only have 2 tests right now, but when we come back down here to try this again, we're gonna have our 3rd test, and this is gonna be a flat bottom at 221.51. So that's the situation where 2 tests is perfectly okay with me. Costco, nothing. Disney. Somebody said Disney 96 break. Do you think it's worth setting alerts? I don't know about 96, but 97 doesn't look bad. Look at 96 here. Are you talking about this right here? Low 96.64? Because that doesn't look bad. Yeah, that's not bad. I would say 97 is probably the first area I'd be interested in Disney. And personally, I don't really trade this stock, so it's something I'd kind of brush over. But if you like it, then 97 is not bad. Can you cover some basics of options, like when you buy calls for the same day? Or do you sell the same day or in a week, etc., for day traders? So we are almost always looking at the same week or same day contracts. And generally we're in and out of a position anywhere between 30 seconds to 10 minutes. So we're not holding these contracts for super long, which is good for us. But yeah, we're not holding overnight the most of the time. If we do, we will obviously let you know the position we're looking at is a swing position, but FedEx, nothing on here really. So mark that. Google, take a look. 186.50 looks really good to me on Google. I know it's just the new high, but does not look bad at all. Yeah, I mean, the price action right now is just straight chop, but if we get momentum into that level, it's not bad. So that's probably going to be something I put on the side watch. But yeah, that's not bad. How far off would you set an alert from your target? Hector, if you're talking about my target, I always set the alert right at the target. If you're talking about my entry level, I always set the alert anywhere between 5 to 10 cents before the level hits. I did sign up to Moomoo, but I was supposed to get a coupon to sign up to Stock Hours. Is that correct for 20% discount? Paul, I would DM Frankie or Nor about that. I would probably reach out to Frankie first, but I think that is correct. All right, there's a lot of questions coming in right now. So let's save the questions till the end of this. I don't want to keep pausing in the middle of the charting session because we can get through the charting session pretty quick if you guys do have questions. So let's just get through the charting session first, and then we can get to the questions. Okay, not a whole lot on meta. I'm gonna unmark that too. Moderna at, is this 114? Doesn't look bad, but that contract or that stock has such horrible contract volume that there's really not even anything you can do with it. So probably gonna skip on that. And Microsoft is just consistently making new high after new high, and the price action is chopped the whole time. So I think I'm gonna be good on Microsoft as well. It's unfortunate because these stocks that are making new high after new high, you just really can't do much with them because the choppiness of the price action just ruins the whole new high setup. MU doesn't look bad here at 136.81. Looks like it's doing a pretty heavy U-turn here, so that could get some momentum pretty quickly. See what this candle is at, 137.39. So that can be something for a side watch for sure. This candle is at 138.23. Yeah, that's not bad for a side watch at all. We can look at that. I don't know how good the contracts will be, but the setup is not bad at all. 690 is the first time that I'm going to be interested on Netflix. So really anything up until there I'm not interested in, but we can put that as a side watch since we are about $7 away now. Technically, what is that? We are $7.50 away, so yeah, that's not bad. NVIDIA, I like at 130. At this high at 129.74, taking that through the 130 break. $30.63 is our next resistance here. Nothing there. Nothing that I'm interested in here. You know, I'm looking at some of these stocks and some of the setups aren't bad, but the contracts are so bad that it's not even worth writing down an idea. I know somebody mentioned SMCI earlier. Let me look at what they liked. Oh, Elijah just said, what about SMCI? So SMCI today in the morning, at least, yeah, in the morning looked just like a heart rate monitor. So not super interested in that. But if we do come up here at the, see, what's the high of this candle? 858.49. 858.49. Let's go down to the 5-minute, and the high from today was 857.19. So I would take this at 857.19, take it through the 858.49, and I'd probably honestly target at least 860, and then probably this 5-minute trend at 864. So yeah, we'll write that down. Snow doing the same thing as a lot of these other stocks, just trying to make the U-turn around. Honestly, I'm not super interested in that. So, like, you guys could see me write an idea for every single one of these stocks that has a resistance that it's coming up towards, but if you have 15 ideas for 15 different stocks, there's no point in even writing an idea because you're not going to be able to catch all those. And all your ideas are basically going to fly by back to back and you're going to miss every single trade. So when you see me skipping stocks that have setups, that's for a reason. Not because I don't see the setup, but just because I know realistically I am not going to take that trade. So there's no need in me writing an idea for it. Tesla's got a resistance here at 251.25. And honestly, I would be willing to take this at 250, taking that through that resistance, probably targeting the 252 break. So yeah, I don't mind that. Tesla was crazy today. Had a couple trades that I got too early of an entry on this morning. They were only 1/3 position though, and I ended up stopping out on 2 of those trades. And then the one trade that I took with full position ended up being a 44% trade. I got in with my full position here at 239.75 and sold on the break of 243. So it was a pretty crazy trade. That's actually like 3 back-to-back days where we've had 40+% trades on Tesla. So it's an absolute banger. All right, I think I've got everything that I like now. I'm gonna go back through these and see which ones I would actually take. So Apple, I'm gonna unmark because I'm realistically not gonna take that. AMD I like, but it's a side watch. So we'll go ahead and start writing the ideas here. Oh my God. Vico, come on. Come here. Thank you. Sorry. AMD. All right, we'll go ahead and just delete all these here. They're probably not going to be in play still. So ARM 170.88. That'll be a side watch as well. All right. Coin 221.51 looks really good, so I'll put that as a main watch. Flat bottom. Disney. I'm probably not even going to write Disney down, to be honest with you. I don't like it enough. Google's going on the side watch as well. The reason a lot of these are going on the side watch is because they're so far away that I don't expect them to happen like right off the bat. MU also going on the side watch because that's not one that I play very frequently. But this one does look better than the majority of the other side watches that I have. Like almost good enough that I would put it on the main watch if it was something I played more frequently. So $739, targeting the break of 138.23. Netflix is definitely going on the side watch because that's way too far. And that's unfortunate. Nvidia at SMCI, I'm not interested until, what did I say, 857.19. Okay. And then Tesla we have at cool. Got Tesla to the upside, coin to the downside, Nvidia upside, SMCI upside. I think the rest of these are all upside plays. So we have one downside play out of everything for Friday. So everything else is upside, but that is my watch list for Friday. I would not be surprised if we don't have any of these levels by the time we open, but either way, it's good to check, and that's what I have for Friday. So now if you guys want to ask questions, you guys are more than welcome to. And yeah, we can go to a Q&A from here. But if you're not in stock hours, make sure you take a screenshot of this, save it, chart it out for yourself. If you are in stock hours, then I'll go ahead and screenshot and send it to the lessons tab and the stocks chat. Did you take Tesla today? I did, Justin. I walked through the trade earlier, actually, but I'll walk you through it again. So I stopped out trying to take early entries twice, but I did it with 1/3 of a position size. And then the trade that I took with my full position size, I caught 44% on. Does Nor usually pick the option contract with the highest open interest for his trade? I'm new here, only a few days now. There's a video of him explaining his trading style and levels. So the levels that we're looking at are all the same. But if we are looking pre-market for our options contracts, we're paying attention to the open interest because that's going to show us which contracts are going to pick up the most volume at open. What are your daily, hourly, A+ setups? If everything looks good one morning, what are you trading? So my A+ setups are something that has at least 2, coming up to 3 tests. That's really honestly all I'm paying attention to. I don't care whether it's upside, downside. I want to see good market sentiment. I want to see good strength or weakness compared to the market. And I want to see good contract volume. And if everything looks good one morning, what am I trading? It's probably either going to be, I mean, if you're just talking about any stock in general, I would say probably Tesla, Nvidia, or SMCI. Full port Friday. Please don't, Caesar. Would you suggest PLTR shares for longer term? I would say if you're going to do anything super long term, shares are probably the smarter move. Just because you don't have to worry about time decay, you don't have to worry about any of the other BS that options have. So I would say anything that you're looking at for super long term, I would suggest shares for sure. AVGO, please. I took a look at AVGO, but I really didn't see anything noteworthy. We will see here. Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing to look at here, man. I would be okay with taking an AVGO trade, but it's just nothing worth taking. Many of the terminology being used is unfamiliar to me as a new trader. Where can I improve my trading knowledge? You can go through the Stock Hours channel and check our education playlist. I'm fairly confident we have a video going over different trading lingo. But if you have any questions about anything I'm saying, feel free to ask. So are you looking to buy in on a trade before a resistance level or after it raises above the level? So we're looking to anticipate the break. So what that means is we're looking for momentum into the level. And when we see that momentum going into the level, we will get into our positions because we're going to get into our positions before the contracts have their premium flip. Hi Keith, I have one request. If possible, can you please guide me on how I should set up my Power E-Trade account for options? So Yash, I am not super familiar with Power E-Trade. The reason I actually transitioned off of E-Trade is because I hated Power E-Trade so much. So yeah, I'm not super familiar with that, but I really don't think there's a whole lot of customization you can do there, Yash. Do you use the algo arrows as an indicator to stop out in Tesla? No, I did not, Sean. Can you quickly describe what your recommended position sizing and risk management would look like if you had to trade with a 2K account? So Eric, the easiest way for me to explain this is I would say, well, first of all, I would say go check out my video that I have on position sizing on this channel. But second, I would say make sure that you have enough capital to take the same trade with the same size at least 3 times. So let's say you have 2 setups for the day. That means you have a total of $1,000 budget for each setup. And then you have to divide that 1,000 by 3 so you can take 3 of the same trade with the same size without going over your buying power. What makes you interested at 186.50 on Google and SMCI at 857? Trying to expand the setups I'm taking. So if you look at Google, 186.50 is just a new high. I mean, it's not hard to see. And the only way that I would take this is if we had a good setup leading into it. Right now, the price action looks trash. It's pretty choppy. But if we set up here pre-market at like 186.30, 186.40, that gives us a good opportunity to be able to take that trade and just take advantage of that new high. I mean, there's going to be momentum there. Well, actually, I can't say that for a fact, but generally at every new high, there's going to be enough momentum to at least get a decent scalp. And then SMCI, the reason I like that is because we have a resistance here on the 5-minute. I actually may have drawn that a little bit short. High is 858.91. Yeah. I need to adjust that. 858.91. So you see this consolidation we're having here, and then we sold off. That's the high of this consolidation, which is a resistance point. So that is pretty easy to spot, and I could take 857.19 through that level just because 857.19 is close enough to that it can easily break through. I'm actually going to update this, 858.91. Let's see. What's your percent stop loss on your trade? So Griffith, I am 99% of the time basing my stop loss off of the chart or off of price action. So I don't keep a specific percent stop loss on my trades. I do keep kind of a maximum dollar stop loss on my trades because, I mean, even if the price action is still looking okay and my stop loss level on the chart is so far away, it just wouldn't make sense to hold till that stop loss. So occasionally I will keep just a decent dollar stop loss on my trades if I don't have a good level to base it off of. So I can't tell you exactly what my percent stop loss is, but I can tell you that for complete beginners, we definitely do recommend keeping a maximum 10% stop loss on your trades. And the reasoning for that is just because that's good training wheels to keep you consistent with hitting your stops and keep you consistent with being patient in your trades. Explain what is Momo. Momo is momentum. We are a member on Stock Hours. Is there a daily lesson like this on the Discord? There is, Paul. Thank you, Keith. I appreciate your reply. What broker do you use? So for my charts, I'm using Thinkorswim by Charles Schwab. And for my execution, I'm using Interactive Brokers. How can you identify how high something will potentially keep running when it is breaking the high of day? So Christian, with that, if it's just a random stock that I'm not used to trading, I couldn't tell you. But the reason we trade the same stocks over and over and over again is because we start to understand what kind of move we can expect from each type of break. So that would be how to identify how high something can go when it's breaking the high of day, is just trade the same stocks over and over, know what kind of potential move you can expect from that stock based on that setup, and you're going to be set. So is the trading style essentially finding key levels that have acted as support or resistance and playing the breaks, whether they are flat tops, bottoms, or trend lines? Yes, Kyle. What candles do you trade? So I am currently on a chart that has just regular candlesticks. The only reason they look different is because of the Stock Hours algo. You focus on SPY or QQQ or both. So I always have NQ pulled up in the bottom left corner of my execution screen. But I would say I focus on them about equally. On my last setup, I haven't hung the TV up yet here, but on my last setup, I had a TV above my screens that always had ES and NQ running 24/7. Sorry, I'm very new to this. When you buy a call for Tesla, for example, at 250 and you set your strike to 251, what determines the price of the premium? I think is what it's called. What do you pay up front? I don't know that I understand your question, Jayton. I will just go ahead and describe. You don't have to pick the premium of where you think your target is. So let's say you're playing the 250 break. You don't have to pick the 251 calls because you're looking to get out at 251. Essentially, what we're doing is buying and selling these contracts like you would buy and sell a used car. Like, same type of thing. Is it recommended to have at least 2 contracts so you can sell half like Nor does? Griffith, if you can only afford 1 contract that's closer to the money, I would say it's way smarter to buy the contract that's closer to being in the money than 2 contracts further out of the money. Because the contract that's closer to being in the money is going to move a lot better, lose a lot less value, and it's going to be the same trade, except it's just going to be safer. Is there a video you guys may have on how to properly set up TWS interactive brokers for scalp trading? Yes, we do have a video for that. Check the education playlist on the channel and you should see it there. I think we have a playlist titled Interactive Brokers Education as well. So I see Tesla, you're targeting momentum. So what has to happen for you to get out? So literally, when I say I'm targeting momentum, I'm literally looking for a good momentum push and not being greedy. Whenever I don't have a specific target on a stock, I'm literally looking for that good, quick momentum push where I can get out. My contracts have inflated in value, and I'm just taking a nice, easy profit there. That's all I'm looking for, is just a nice push. What indicators do you suggest we apply or use on a chart? So I personally would suggest using no indicators. The only indicator that I use is the volume algo that we have down here, and also just the stock hours algo. But all that's doing is showing me short-term uptrends, short-term downtrends, and drawing my trend lines and support and resistance. So it's not really even an indicator. It's more of just a charting tool, I guess. Do I need to trade each stock as its own market? How much emphasis do I put on the stock and SPY? So I don't know that I exactly understand what your question is there, but obviously the stock does not have to do exactly what the market is doing. And some days the stock will do, whatever it wants to while the market's doing whatever it wants to. So obviously you have to pay attention to what the stock is doing. But I definitely think it is well worth it to judge strength or weakness compared to the market. Learning how to judge strength and weakness is so helpful. You'll be able to identify when your stock is strong, when it's weak, and when it's doing its own thing. So I definitely think that's something worth paying attention to. Thank you. In the Stock Hours Discord channel, do we have a video on the interactive broker option setup? If yes, I might switch to interactive brokers. We have, like I said, we have a playlist on the YouTube channel titled Interactive Brokers Education. That's where you're going to find the video going through how to set that up. Griffith said, if the stock is at 250 but you pick a strike price at 260, does it have to go past 260 to make money? No. So the only thing with that is, since the 260 calls are so far out of the money, they're going to, first of all, not move as well when it is moving in your direction, and they're going to lose more value when it's going against you. But if you're thinking about it as a stock has to cross this to make money, that's not how it works. So just for example, anytime you're buying a call, you're going to make money. Not anytime. Obviously, sometimes the contracts will lose value due to IV crush, stuff like that. But When you're buying a call, you're going to make money when the stock goes up. When you're buying a put, you're going to make money when the stock goes down. So you don't have to cross a specific price for the options to pay you. The only thing with the strike price is if you decide that you want to exercise your contracts, it does have to surpass that price. But that's not what we're doing with our contracts. We're buying and selling them just like we would buy and sell shares, just like we would buy and sell a used car, just like we would buy and sell anything to make a profit. So if that helps, that is more what we're looking at when we're looking at the contracts. Any advice for someone coming from trading stocks for the trend based on MTF analysis and using indicators? This is different from what I've been learning for years, but scalping breaks looks good. I would say the best advice for switching trading styles to this type of trading is don't focus on your P&L. Don't expect to catch the full move every time. That's probably the biggest piece, is do not expect to catch the entire move every time, because with scalping, that is just, it's not what we're doing. Scalping is exactly what it sounds like. We are catching the move very quickly, getting in, getting out, making the quick money, and not worrying about what it does for the rest of the day, what it does before we're in, what it does after we're out. We don't care. You know, the stock can shoot $50 more after we get out. It doesn't matter. We followed our plan and we're staying consistent. So I would say don't focus on the P&L. Understand that you're not going to catch the full move 99.9% of the time. And just focus on your consistency. Have you tried to use different indicators, and if so, which ones? Sean, the only other indicator I've used is, I used to have MACD and RSI on my screen, but all it would ever do is just scare me out of taking a trade whenever it really honestly means nothing. The only other indicator I have is I have the adaptive EMA on my chart, but I've never used it for anything ever. Literally, the only reason I have it on my chart is because it was the first thing I put on there when I first got TOS 7 to 8 years ago, and I've just never taken it off because it looks funny to me without having that on there. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. No problem, Yash. My bad. I legit started learning today. So if Tesla is at 250, I buy a call with a strike at 251. The final cost of the call is 250, or is there a fee or extra charge? No, Jayton. So when you're looking at the strike price, that's a completely different thing than the premium you're paying. So for example, this is the 250 call. These calls cost $2.75 a piece. Obviously you have to multiply that by 100 because a contract is worth 100 shares. So the 250 calls, if I were to buy right now, cost $275 a piece. If we make a trade on Friday that expires that day, does decay work faster against the trade? Yes. That's why we recommend sizing down, Paul. On Fridays and Thursdays sometimes, we recommend sizing down because the contracts move a lot crazier than they usually would. Is exercising a contract just claiming the stock for yourself at the price you initially bought the contract? So exercising a contract means, so let's say I bought this 250 call, right? I bought one 250 call. I paid $275 for that options contract. Now let's say the contract expires and the stock is at 255. That means I am obligated to pay for 100 shares of Tesla at $250 a piece, even though the stock is now at 255. So now we have 100 shares that we are currently buying for $250 while the stock is $5 ahead of that. So you're already $5 per share into the profit by the time you exercise your contracts. So how are you choosing your strikes then? What is the most important thing to look at when picking a strike for a quick move when scalping? So I'm always looking to trade as close to in the money as possible. So you see all these purple numbers, these are in the money contracts. These are in the money calls. Over here, these are in the money puts. So what we trade is called at the money. So right now, we're at 248.32 on the bid and 248.50 on the ask on Tesla. So that means the next contract that is up is 250. So if I'm looking to take a trade to the upside, I'm going to be looking to take the at the money contracts, which is the 250 calls. And then also when I'm looking at these contracts, I always trade the $1 or $5 increments. So like Tesla, I would take the 250s, 255s, 260s. I would not take the 247.50s, 242.50s. The reason for that is because there's a lot more volume on the whole number increments. During market open, when I hear you guys comparing candles to NQ or other symbols, are you looking at them both at the 1 minute chart? Yes. Can you explain the interactive broker's limit offset setting? So basically, what the limit slippage does is it will, okay. So let's say you have your settings like I have mine, where my buy limit button is buy plus 1.75%. Or sorry, limit plus 1.75%. That means if, let's say the bid is at 100, the ask is at 101. When I click buy limit on interactive, that will mean the absolute worst I can get filled is minus 1.75% on my position. Now let's say the spread is way wider than that. Let's say it's a 10% spread, right? That means I might not get filled, but if I do get filled, the absolute worst I can get filled is down 1.75%. Same thing for the sell button, it's ask minus 1.75%, which means the worst I can get filled is down 1.75% from where I was at the peak. Do you look to make trades just in the first hour of trading or so, or do you see if a trade is available through the day? Well, generally, I'm done within the first hour, hour and a half. It doesn't make a lot of sense for us to sit here all day, especially if we get a good setup in the morning. You really just should take your money and go, because really all you're going to do from there is take boredom trades, because you can sit at these charts for an hour and a half by yourself, and it feels like you're there for a week. So you're going to get bored and you're going to take stupid trades and make dumb decisions that you don't need to be making, whenever you could just be done for the day and, you know, enjoy yourself. Do you look at the Greeks at all? Honestly, Kev, I don't. The only thing that I'll look at is the delta, but even then, it doesn't really matter that much for what we do. We're not in the trades for long enough for it to make a difference. So I would say if you're swing trading, the Greeks make all the difference in your trade. But for what we do, we're in and out so fast that the Greeks really don't have time to even set in. And the very, very rare occasions where we are in for long enough for the Greeks to affect us, we probably should have stopped out of the trade already. I have one more question for you. Why do you use Think or Swim? Is it better compared to the TradingView platform? So Yash, I use Thinkorswim because it's what I'm used to and I like it a lot. I've always used it since I very, very first started trading. I've always used this for my trading or my charting platform. I know the platform like the back of my hand, so there's no reason for me to switch. I think TradingView is just fine too if you prefer that, but it's just personal preference. What does NQ mean? / NQ is the NASDAQ futures. How do you decide what stock to pick over others in pre-market? What's closest to the level? What has relative strength, etc.? Exactly that, Stoic. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Yeah, so if anybody has any last minute questions, we can go ahead and do that. But if not, me and Draco are going to wrap this up. And I hope you guys all enjoy your 4th of July and have a good rest of your night. You have videos to set up Interactive Brokers Book Trader to set the buy and sell. We do. It's on the Interactive Brokers Education playlist. All. Waiting a minute here to see if any other questions come in. With my girlfriend, Stoic. No problem, Paul. All right, if we don't have any last minute questions, I will go ahead and Brian, yes, I'll send that in the stocks chat too. I'll go ahead and put the watch list up here one more time for you guys that aren't in stock hours. Make sure you screenshot that, chart out the levels on your own, see what you like. And if you're not in stock hours is free every Wednesday until midnight. So make sure you click that first link below, join up, and we will see you on Friday. No problem, Arfat. Sounds good, Brian. Cobalt. All right. Hope you guys have a great rest of your night, and I will talk to you guys Friday morning.